gwardiya ng naninita ako. Okay na.
Interaction.
Parang very good na kung sino yung pero
Ay.
Kaya lang naman na yun.
Collaboration between multiple key thinkers such as country and government partners, private sector market leaders, and tech disruptors combine to make Digital Pilipinas Festival a holistic hub for ASEAN innovation and investments. Through collaborative initiatives that drive progress and national innovation, we have teamed up with various national line agencies to grow a number of government partnerships that help ensure that Digital Pilipinas is always on the right side of regulation, innovation, and complete digital transformation. This allows the Digital Pilipinas movement to scale and go cross-border, creating synergies recognized by the most countries, trade missions, embassies, and organizations. We have forged a number of country partnerships and continue to evangelize ASEAN's thriving innovation ecosystem in Europe, exploring new partnerships with the Africa FinTech Network and talked digital economies at the BRICS Innovation Forum. And we continue to build on the Digital Pilipinas concept across multiple markets, increasing the impact and effect that we have each time. This year, we are hosting the largest Twin Digital Economies Festival through the Digital Pilipinas Festival Philippine FinTech Festival event happening on November 21st to 24th, 2023. It is a week-long interaction and celebration of unstoppable innovation and technological development with today's leading brands, government regulators, country partners, local government units, private and public sector, technologists, startup ecosystems of investors, innovators, and founders championing the first 12 critical industries. And there's one more thing. We're bringing in 3 more industries to the spotlight: creative economy, trust, and system. The upcoming festival will bring highly exclusive global enrichment opportunities in a number of ways. It will be the venue for the ASEAN Digital Economy Summit, where the shift of digital power to the digital economies of ASEAN will be put into focus. The Global Investment Forum, where capital meets opportunity in ASEAN, the most internationally recognized certification program by the Global FinTech Institute, where attendees from all over the world can build their digital footprint and cooperate for their ventures. And Founders Breakfast Roundtables, where anyone can meet, connect, listen to, and learn from tech founders in private business reception, together with market leaders, investors, regulators, and startups. It will also be a venue for GFI certified C-suite masterclasses on frontier tech, international partnership programs, the launch of new tech summits, groundbreaking research, career expos, pitch fests, hackathons, and awards ceremonies. Register today and be at the forefront of discussions in the digital economy for exciting collaborations. This is the Digital Pilipinas Festival 2023. Development of today's leading brands, government regulators, country partners.
Good morning, everyone. Again, good morning, everyone. Good morning and happy Monday. Today is an exciting day as we have prepared a very special program for you all this morning. And yes, this is still part of our ongoing celebration for our Cybersecurity Month 2023. I am Apple and I am from the Office of the Undersecretary for Connectivity, Cybersecurity, and Upskilling. Today's program is organized by the DICT in partnership with DICT Pilipinas. It is all about something that we are all familiar with. Some of us are still actively using it right now, and in all likelihood, you will be using it when the event wraps up. And ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about social media. It is no longer just a place to hang out or to exchange quick messages with your friends and loved ones. Social media is now where most of us live and establish our presence every single day. Since becoming one of the most pervasive and arguably most important aspects of the internet, social media has taken over many different platforms. It is now part of our work, our social lives, and for some, it is even part of their businesses and finance-related activities. Today, we will tackle the highly important subjects of social media use amid strengthening our country's cybersecurity defenses. We will have some commitment findings between key stakeholders from the government as well as the private sector and representatives of our partners from a number of social media platforms here today. We will also have fireside chat and an expert panel discussion on the topic of international cooperation and cybersecurity. So be sure not to miss out on that one. So to get us started, we would like to call on the beloved Undersecretary of the DICT. Please welcome Music Jeff Ian. Let's give him a round of applause.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat. This is now becoming a regular Monday event. Only for October, huh? So, as usual, I'm your opening remarks and the Secretary will later deliver his keynote. I'm very honored to extend my warm welcome again to all of you sa DICT Cybersecurity Month with the team Sama-Sama para sa Cyberseguridad. This is our second Monday event. This encapsulates the essence of unity and shared responsibility in the protection of our digital realm as we work collectively towards a digitally safe Philippines. Today, as we sign this commitment, the DICT and our esteemed social media partners who are all here are coming together to share knowledge, insights, and technologies in our pursuit of cybersecurity. Our shared mission is to protect the digital identity and information of every Filipino. This is also important because almost all government agencies have social media accounts in all three platforms, in all four platforms that are shown at the back. No? And we understand the importance of this platform, not only for business, but also for our daily lives. And recognize that with great power comes great responsibility. We believe that together and through collaboration, we can build a safer online environment that fosters trust and security. Again, in the spirit of Sama-Sama para sa Cyberseguridad, we encourage every citizen, business, and organization to actively participate in this shared responsibility. Cybersecurity is not solely the duty of government. Contrary to popular belief, it is also not the sole duty of the DICT, but of every one of us. It is the collective duty of every Filipino. To borrow some words from the Secretary, when you are called to defend your country, it is in every person's, last week sinabi ni Secretary, it is every person's obligation and responsibility to defend. And right now, we should remember that attacks not only come from land, air, and sea, but in cyberspace as well. So I would like to again, as my last remark, to express my gratitude to our partners, our social media platforms that have taken this initiative alongside the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Your commitment to cybersecurity is a testament to your dedication to our shared mission. I hope that this be the beginning of a new era where both the public and private sectors come together for a digitally safer Philippines. Of course, I would like to welcome and thank Digital Pilipinas for hosting the entire one-month celebration of DICT. Again, thank you for your presence and support in this endeavor. Together, let's build a more secure digital environment for our nation. Sama-sama para sa cybersecurity.
Activities with your opening remarks. And we would like to request our Honorable Secretary, Ivan Uy, for a message. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Well, this month we're celebrating Cybersecurity Month. Actually, this celebration really marks an opportunity to reflect and to take stock of what we have been doing and will be doing in the coming years in respect to cybersecurity. That does not mean that we're only active in cybersecurity for this month. This is a continuing effort, and today we celebrate a significant milestone. Cybersecurity has been a concern, a very deep concern of everybody. And the reason for this is that there has been a rapid move from brick and mortar to the digital landscape. The scale, the speed, the level of penetration of digitalization in our everyday lives has been unprecedented. And so the effect of this in terms of, for instance, economic contribution. I think in ASEAN, during our discussion in Singapore recently, the e-commerce, all the financial services, all the e-commerce developments in ASEAN, the contribution to the ASEAN economy is about $1 trillion. And they expect that in the near future, it will double very, very quickly to $2 trillion. That's a huge amount of money. And with that kind of economic presence in ASEAN, that is a very, very attractive buy for cyber criminals, for cyber threat actors, because that gives them a tremendous amount of opportunity to take a slice of that pie. So it becomes vital that we all have to be concerned, and we need to address that concern by coming together, working together, collaborate and share what resources that we have, whether it's from the government, from the private sector, from industry, in order to help protect our citizens, help protect our consumers in this area. We started off this administration with the SIM card registration law. That was our initial act in order to reduce the amount of scam texts that we were all receiving for the past several years. And we have seen a significant downtrend. I'm sure you have experienced it. Where before the SIM card registration law, I personally would receive 6 to 7 text scam messages per day. Today, I'm sure, are you still receiving 6 or 7 scam messages per day on your text messages? And maybe one a day, maybe two or three times a week. So we've cut down on that mode of scamming, and we are still continuing to pursue the criminal organizations that have been using this scam text method. We have busted several syndicates all over the country. We've arrested them. We have conducted forfeiture proceedings on all the e-wallets and on the crypto wallets that they have in their possession, which is a huge amount. And I think we have managed to cripple these syndicates effectively. Noticeably, I think the past few weeks you have noticed a much lesser presence. However, these cyber threat actors are not easily discouraged. And since we have plugged the hole on the SIM cards, they have moved to a different platform. And these are through the OTT or the over-the-top services, which may not necessarily need to have a SIM card in order to use. And we've seen them increasing their presence. So today, we have together with us the four major platforms. We have Meta, Google, YouTube, and TikTok. These four social media platforms have expressed their wholehearted support with the DICT to work together in order to protect the Filipino people against these cyber threats. I think this is one of the first initiatives in Asia for all four platforms to come together in order to address an increasing social concern, a criminal concern. And they have come together to work together, to collaborate in order to make the world a safer digital world. This is unprecedented, and we welcome all the four platforms today for their generous effort in helping the DICT combat and address this increasing cyber threat landscape. Their participation is indispensable in our effort to address all these scamming, phishing, and many of the modalities where these cyber threat actors operate. And today, we send a very strong message to these cyber criminals that no matter what you do, we in the digital arena, we, the digital regulators, the digital operators, the digital providers, will work together, government, private sector, industry, in securing our digital space and ensuring the protection of every Filipino. Thank you very much.
For a keynote speech to share some key insights and discuss a few important topics related to social media platforms and cybersecurity today, please welcome the convener of Digital Pilipinas, Digital ASEAN, and the One ASEAN FinTech Movement, the Digital Pilipinas Festival, and the Philippine FinTech Festival. Let's all welcome Ms. Amore Macla.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I think it's not so much a keynote, but rather a welcome. Because the past few weeks, we have been darkening the doorsteps. The private sector has been darkening the doorsteps of the DICT. Actually, last Thursday, we were here, and we had close to 70 players in the logistics, finance, smart community space, and they're like, Amor, why do we have to do it in the DICT? I said, of course, because there has never been a time when a whole of country and a whole of government approach to cybersecurity has been required. And just wanted to share a little bit about, do we have a few slides? Yes? Do you guys have a few slides? Now, this is not going to be the end of our commitment to support the DICT. Because actually it's just the beginning. Many of you probably know us for our work in the financial services sector, but everyone, specifically FinTech, we're probably the most amount of vulnerabilities, the most number of vulnerabilities coming to play. But also at the same time, it's in the financial services sector where they have the most organized guidelines for cybersecurity. So picking up from what Yusuf Jeff said last October 9, which is the guidelines are needed for other sectors, not just for banking and finance, but also in areas like smart communities, health. The private sector have come together to organize themselves and say, DICT, lead us. We want to be able to come up with guidelines similar to that in the banking and financial services sector. October might be ending, but in November, during the Digital Pilipinas Festival, next slide please, we are inaugurating for the first time a cybersecurity and also a trust tech festival. So many of our partners in PropTech, for example, said, we're not FinTech, we want our own festival. People in health tech and in the hospital say, we're not FinTech, we want our own festival. And cybersecurity, just like FinTech, is an undercurrent that cuts across all industries. We want to acknowledge, could you go back, please? 3 countries actually, from the USAID, Mr. John Garrity is here. Palakpakan po natin sila. Although my work with USAID is more on digitalizing local governments, always a pleasure to see John. Also, we have our, nag-out si Yusek, ako naman na nawala ng boses. We have our friends from the government of Canada. Actually, please tell Ambassador Hartman, it was actually Ambassador Hartman who said to me, Amor, there ought to be a cybersecurity festival, not just stuck under FinTech. And of course, I know we have friends here from the United Kingdom. Last June, we were in 10 Downing, and I know that Robert was here, who was also with us in London. Quickly, please. Next slide. So Digital Pilipinas, many people are asking, is basically our love letter to the government. And our objective is to bring the private sector to work more closely with government. I was just sharing with John. There are many multinationals who actually do not want to work with government for fear of ABAC or various issues. But really the only way we can address this is to work very closely with the agenda of government. Next slide, please. So from November 20 to 24, there are a few things that are being inaugurated, and we're very proud that the Cybersecurity and the Trust Tech Festival is coming out for the first time, side by side with our, of course, landmark FinTech event. And we have also, working with other national line agencies, Halal Festival, a Philippine Investment Week is happening for the first time, and a few others that are equally important as the financial services sector. And then finally, we look forward, next slide. We look forward to everyone's help and support. Sir Gons, who is the president of CSA, John, our friends from Canada, from Israel, from the United Kingdom, and of course the 4 platforms that are here. We look forward to working very closely with you. And on that note, I encourage you to please continue to visit not just the DICT, but all national line agencies, so we can continue to work towards a whole of government approach to solving the problems of our country using digital. Maraming salamat po. And to our family in DICT, thank you for all your service to the country. Salamat po.
Forward to the highly anticipated signing between the key stakeholders from the government and the private sector, including the most popular social media platforms in use in our country today. Please welcome our partners from the top social media platforms. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the following: Mr. Ives Gonzalez of Southeast Asia Government Affairs and Public Policy Team of Google. And we have Mr. Kof Rada, Head of Public Policy at TikTok ByteDance Philippines and Malaysia. And last but not least, we have Ms. Claire Catlayan de Guzman Amador, Head Public Policy for Philippines and Thailand Meta Platforms Incorporated. We'd like to request our signings to please stay on stage for a photo and signing, of course. And of course, we'd like to call our Secretary Ivan Huy and Yusuf Jeffrey to join our social media platforms representative to sign on this for this commitment signing. So this is our wall of commitment. So we have the pencil pen. Alright, so our wall of commitment. So it says there, we, the leading social media platforms, advocates, and partners of Digital Philippines join the Department of Information and Communications Technology in the pledge to raise public awareness about cybersecurity threats and how to combat challenges in the cyberspace and to create a digitally safer Philippines for Filipinos. Our shared goal is to cultivate a culture of responsible online behavior that ensures that the well-being of individuals in the digital realm. We join forces with the DICT in building a resilient and secure digital landscape where Filipinos can confidently navigate and enjoy the benefits of online world without compromising their safety and privacy. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much for partnering with us. And of course, we'd like to invite Amor to join here on stage for a photo op together with Sir Jan of USA. Hi, Ma'am Shirley.
Ayun, ay, sige.
This way, please, at the center. Thank you. Thank you. Just stay for a few seconds more for our media to be able to gather photos and videos. Alright, so this is your part to our media partners. Has videos. Alright, thank you so much. A round of applause, please. Gonzalez.
Thank you, DICT Secretary Boy, for continuing to work with Google. Not just Google and YouTube, but actually Mandian. Mandian is our cybersecurity arm, and we are proud and honored to be working with the DICT on cyber threats, fighting cyber threats for the Philippines. So thank you for having us today, and we are honored and we are thankful to be a part of this initiative, and we look forward to continuing to support the government's campaign on cybersecurity. Thank you.
Call on Mr. Tofrada of TikTok ByteDance.
Morning, Secretary Ivan, Undersecretary Jeff, Moore, Eves, Bear, and our friends in the DICT and media. Magandang umaga. We're very happy and we're very honored to be part of this initiative. This is on behalf of TikTok. This is actually part of many initiatives we have to build online security, online safety. Just to mention that as far as we're concerned, we look at it from 3 pillars. First of all is our responsibility as a platform to build, to make sure that we properly moderate content on our platform. The second pillar, equally important, is to make sure that there's credible content online that we see, so people know and they're directed to the right source of information. And lastly, and equally as important, is building digital literacy and digital awareness. So overall, what we try to build is that culture, as Undersecretary Jeff mentioned earlier, of that shared responsibility of us working together, and in line with this, of course, also with cybersecurity. So maraming salamat, and we look forward to having concrete measures to put this into action. Thank you. Thank you.
And last but not least, let's welcome back on stage Ms. Claire Catlea de Guzman Amador of Meta Platforms Incorporated.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sec, Amor, it's great meeting you. Thank you for having us here, Sec Jeff. And it's great to see you, Tom and Eves and John. Meta has been a partner of the DICT. Since 2017, we have been around for the Philippines, and in fact, in the past week, we have conducted digital literacy training in partnership with the DICT, and we look forward to holding more. One of our first and foremost concerns is safety, and we are happy to know that it's at the forefront of concerns for DICT as well, and we look forward to more partnerships with you, and also having more projects with you as well. Maraming salamat po.
Signing of commitment, and this is in particular to our campaign against phishing, text scams, and online harms. So this signing event will be led by Yusek Jeff D, and of course our dearest Secretary with aid of Digital Philippines convener, Mama Moore Maclang, and joined by various representatives from the government, embassies, and private sectors. This is a landmark moment in our nation's fight against cyber threats, especially in some of the most active communications platforms available today. We'd like to request our scientists to please come up here on stage to sign. And yes, this one is with various representatives from the government, embassies, as we have also invited them. So this is the other commitment wall natin for a signing of commitment.
Yeah, like all our friends, come on guys. So, if you come up on stage, it means that you're supporting the DICT and their fight. And it's not just the financial services space that are actually challenged. Later in the Fireside Chat with you, Sec Jeff, we'll see how smart cities, health, etc. So can we just invite them to come up on stage, please? Thank you. Napakamahiyain ng mga Pilipino. Come on. Attorney Ren, I see so many of our partners, sila Sir Mons, sila ayan, John, and also John. Yes. So please, we have you don't want to be seen with us, I'm just teasing. Come on, John, come on. Sige, please, guys. And then siguro with you set and set na lang in the middle.
Wait lang. Wala kami first.
Yes. So guys, please. Yes. Put your organization as well, aside from just your name. Thank you. Yes, please indicate the organization. Thank you.
Kuya, buhok ko na may tali po ako.
Project designing as DICT. So the bonds yan. Sa educational pipeline natin.
And more than we just read yung ating pledge dito sa ating wall signing. So together they pledge, or we pledge to empower and educate the public, equipping them with the necessary knowledge and resources to safeguard themselves against online threats such as phishing, texts, scams, and other malicious activities. Additionally, we will actively promote cybersecurity best practices, raise awareness about emerging threats, and provide resources, tools, especially access to information. Our shared goal is to cultivate a culture of vigilance and responsible online behavior that ensures the well-being of individuals and in the digital world. Let's have a quick photo.
Alright, please smile everyone. Look on the center, please. Okay, our photographers from the media. Take your photos. Hold them po. Okay, video naman po sa likod. Alright, okay na po.
And also for our last photo of again inviting our social media platform representatives dito po sa harap, kahit hindi na po sa stage, dito na lang daw po sa baba, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter to join. In the stage po, thank you so much. O yan, kasha po po sa stage. thanking everyone who signed as a symbol of your commitment to work together with the government and other members of the private sector to play your part in the digital transformation to reinforce cybersecurity.
Official. Smile. One more. Thank you. Thank you.
To understand this, what are the other areas aside from the banking and finance sector that are vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks?
So hindi lang puro banking and fintech, pati mga ibang sectors are vulnerable, sir?
Yes, all other sectors. Wala namang pinipili yan. They choose which is the weakest and then they attack it. Actually, apart from the banking, important din yung health, like yung nangyari sa PhilHealth, important din yung power and utilities.
So, guys, you heard that. The next phase of our advocacy with the DICT is actually to get other sectors to help work on guidelines. Yan. Nabanggit niya ni USEC Jeff October 9, health. So that will be an important part of our Health Tech Summit. Also, smart cities are very vulnerable. Ano ba, sir, yung mga other areas that you'd like the private sector to help with?
Ang pinaka-importante sa private sector is that we have an understanding. You trust us to defend you. And yung ano ba, yung sharing of information. For example, dinaos ko na rin, wala lang dito sa stage but we also have a information sharing agreement in the works with Microsoft. That is also important because almost everyone here is using Windows 11. So we also have information sharing agreement, private. Of course, we have a lot of information sharing agreement with a lot of governments. Pero importante yung si private. So if you're also, I don't know if you've heard, no? But when we had these issues with hacking, the past weeks, there are a lot of private sectors that approach us and actually assisted us without free of charge. No? Nabanggit na ni Ims kanina, Mandiant was one of them. Palo Alto also extended their hand, no? Told us that they can assist. Some other locally funded security groups. So what we're trying to say is, number one, hindi kami, baka inisip nyo kami lang sumasagot, we have the private sector at our back and we're very thankful for them. Doon sa response sa PhilHealth, sa PSA, nandiyan yung private sector. So, yun lang. We need more events like this to trust each other. Trust that your government will share information with you, and also trust that your government can handle your information that you share with us. At maganda nga na ibigay ko ng example that we're working with the private sector also. So if you want to work with us, let's form a group. Isang Viber lang, madali na. Sorry, pwede rin Messenger.
Lahat ng nag-sign.
Pwede rin dito. Sorry. Pwede rin Messenger. Isang grupo lang tayo.
Pwede rin WhatsApp.
Tapos isang grupo lang tayo, we communicate with each other. Para pag may isang atake, we let them know. Yung attack all of us will respond. Ganun dapat yung message.
Sige, sir, or we'll organize that. Lahat ng nag-sign dito will be
Sino ba?
Tapos yung mga pumunta dito nung 19, ang dami pumunta ng 19, we'll add them all. Kasi sabi nga natin, pag pumunta kayo ng DICT, it's as good as you committing to support them. Sir, upskilling is also under your aegis, right? I was just having a chat with John of USAID. How can we address the challenge of upskilling? Kasi sobrang in demand. Lahat sila are all leaving. Grateful nga kami kay Gons, di ba? He's decided to stay on here, but he could be anywhere in the world. Anong pwede natin gawin, sir?
Maganda rin yung binanggit nyo. We have partnerships for upskilling with private groups also. We have the Google certificates or similar to a Google scholarship. No? Yung Google certificates, hindi siya like 2 weeks. Parang 6 na buwan, hindi mo pa pinapasa yung exam. So medyo ano siya, magandang program siya. Of course, we also have with USA, the partnership with CPIT, and then a lot of other groups, ISC Squared. We have a lot of partnership with ISC Squared with regard to training. We're actually even offering free CISSP review courses for government officials. May 3 na yata pumasa. Thank you for that. No? 3, apart from me, kasi I paid for my own sales. We're, alam mo, pagdating sa sphere ng training, hindi tayo sa cybersecurity. Yan talaga yung kulang natin. So kahit na lahat ng private sector mag-offer with us, kulang pa din. Kulang pa rin. We have 2 million government employees. I-train mo lang sila lahat for basic cyber hygiene and awareness. Kulang pa yung mga offerings that are being so we need assistance also from the private sector.
Sir, nabanggit ko nga, even before we met, nabanggit ko kay Sir Gon. Sir Gon, naalala mo when we had our Taco Saturdays, lahat ng CISO at CTO under CSA will give them free access to the Digital Filipinas Festival at no cost.
Sorry, group pala ni Steph nag-offer din ng blockchain training sa atin for with N-Chain, right? So meron ng partnership din.
So all CISOs and CTOs that are endorsed by CSA and DICT, they'll have free access to the festival. Sir, in closing, if there are top 3 concerns that you hope to be able to tackle with the private sector for 2024, what would it be? Top 3.
Top 3. You'll be surprised, hindi one yung cyber. Siguro number 3 yung cyber. Ang first is that we have to bring digital services to every Filipino. So that's where e-gov comes in, that's where connectivity comes in. Yun muna yung priority natin. Of course, number 2, digital literacy. Kasi aanin mo yung connectivity at saka e-governance kung hindi ka literate. And third, secure. So dapat i-secure mo yung binigay mong connectivity and e-governance. So yun yung third priority yung cybersecurity. Ano yan it goes sana na yan. Habang lumalaki yung inaabot ng connectivity at saka e-governance, lalaki din yung requirement ng literacy. At habang dumadami yan, habang dumadami yung connected, lalong nagiging highlight yung security or cybersecurity. So these 3 go on.
First is, from the Digital Filipinas side, we'll get more of the private sector to support the uptake of the e-gov app to bring the private sector to the government. Second is digital literacy, but this time around per sector. Kasi ang digital literacy ng health, iba sa requirements sa digital literacy ng financial services, ng education. And then last but not the least, then that's we do, sir, yung kinumit namin, guidelines per industry on cybersecurity. Kasi po ngayon lang ay, ang meron lang po ba ay banking and finance. Tama po ba, sir? Ang energy and power. Thank you. Maraming salamat, guys. And I know you'd like to hear more from the private sector and their commitments to palakpakan po natin si Seth Ivan, si Miss Apple, Sir Marcel, at si Yusuf Jen. Maraming salamat. Okay, maraming salamat. There's no such thing as last. We will. Sabi, ito namang last natin, no, we will have, if you would allow it, we will have more activities here. Sabi nga nila, many of them, sir, first time nila nagpunta sa UP, first time nila nagpunta ng DIC.
Salamat.
Maraming salamat. Thank you, everyone.
And also represent the women in this room. My name is Stephanie Tower. I'm with Enching. We are a blockchain solutions company headquartered in Switzerland, and we have opened our office here in the Philippines. What we do is we offer blockchain research solutions, licensing, and also, of course, consultancy as well. So I'm very honored to be with you, gentlemen. One by one we'll get to know them. So I'll give you the mic. Introduce yourself. your company and what is the role of your organization in this whole spectrum of cybersecurity in the Philippines and in the world?
So, magandang umaga lahat. My name is Patrick Signo. I'm the Country Managing Director for Material Logic. We are a technology consulting agency working in a multi-cloud capacity, delivering all aspects of technology across the Asia-Pacific region. I'm also serving as a board member for the Data Center Association of the Philippines, a newly formed entity that is geared towards helping, I think, the topic of today's interests, investments and requirement for managing data in the country. And the Data Center Association of the Philippines will continue to help the Philippines at scale.
Hi, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. My name is John Garrity. I am the chief of party for a USAID-funded project called Better Access Connectivity, or Beacon for short. This is a 5-year project that's funded by the U.S. government to support governments in the Philippines when it comes to digital infrastructure development. So you think about telecommunications, you think about all of the cross-cutting infrastructure issues that are associated with cybersecurity and privacy issues.
All right, thank you. My name is Juan Gonzalez. Good morning. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. I represent Cloud Security Alliance. We are a global industry and professional organization that focuses on cloud security. So we help craft standards for cloud security as well as education for cloud security.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sam Hakova. I represent 3 communities of practice. So the first one is the National Association of Data Protection Officers of the Philippines. So we nurture data protection officers. The second one is DICT CERT. So the Philippine Computer Emergency Response Team is about its first CERT. We were formed in 2001. I'm also part of CSA. So once and I were one of the co-founders of Cloud Security Alliance. And we're part of the job. Hopefully, the departments as well are programs. We've trained and certified over 1,000 TPOs and CISOs already. Our aim is to transform the Philippines into a global center of excellence for data protection. So that's why we're here. So we're really happy our fellow Filipinos and of course our more Filipino to help the Philippines to be cybersecurity.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. So let's start the conversation. We have been hearing about the shared responsibility of each one of us, government, private sectors, or even individuals in addressing cyber security. And why do you think it's important to have a multi-sectoral approach in these in strengthening cyber defenses within the nation and also among other countries? Anyone can speak.
I believe a multi-industry approach is important because, as Amor mentioned earlier, cybersecurity underpins a lot of technology requirements, compliance, positioning and prosecuting individuals and businesses in any industry. I believe it's an opportunity to share best practices, whether you're from the healthcare sector, the property sector, or the completely different sector overall. The most important thing is protection online, protection of assets on premise, protection of all of your digital footprints wherever you go. And this kind of insight perhaps allows a continual evolution of cybersecurity. Yes, there are very big cybersecurity names that of partners that are working together in the alliance that we have today, but I think it also culminates into the 3 components that USEC Jeff mentioned earlier of further adoption of the national ID and connectivity, but the second thing is being most important, which is literacy, right? Driving literacy across everybody, and everybody knows what the internet is. Fine, that's 30 years, 3 decades old, but cybersecurity is more prevalent today than we can even catch up. I mean, that's my take.
How about you, John, from the perspective of someone from the outside, the Philippines, why do you think it's important to have you and your organization to take part in this initiative of security and cyber defenses?
Yeah, maybe just to reflect back also on what you said, Jeff mentioned, right? I mean, I think the Philippines is not unique in that most countries in the world, even the United States, are still working to ensure that the entire country and everybody in the population can really participate in the digital economy. Every country has a digital divide, and even in the United States, there's a major effort right now under the current administration to close that digital divide. So as we as a society, whether it's in the United States or in the Philippines or any other country, work to close that digital divide, we want to make sure that the people who are coming in, participating in the digital economy, are doing so in an environment that's as trusted and as safe as can be. And so that's why in cybersecurity, effort really isn't just the realm of any one entity, whether it's in the public sector or even in the private sector. It's really everybody's shared responsibility because we all are participating in that digital economy.
That's correct. And Gons, you're leading this alliance on cybersecurity. How do you think we can raise awareness to the public about their responsibility as individuals? Because a lot of times people tend to depend on government institutions to protect them, but there is a shared responsibility. How do you raise awareness?
Yes, so for that, we need to tap into our normal channels, our daily channels that we use. Social media is here today, right? So we can utilize these channels to reach and engage our common users, right? And then make them more aware of the potential dangers, and then how to sort of avoid these traps, right? Again, use these channels and then use them early and often, I would say. Is the right approach.
How about you, Sam? What do you think are the other approaches that we can use to educate the public about cybersecurity?
Gons and I have been talking about it. It should be like a GMRC course. And it has to be started at home. So that's where it all starts. What you learn from your parents on how to take care of yourself, going out, for example, looking at cars before you cross the street, it has to be the same as cybersecurity. And from the home, next is the schools. That's why we're actually developing a course on cybersecurity from K to 12. Okay? And then so when they graduate senior high school, they can actually already become cybersecurity professionals. And then after that, then we go to college, and then that's where the specialization comes in. And then we have schools that offer master courses on cybersecurity already, and probably soon a PhD on cybersecurity. So it's scaling up, but it starts at home.
I love that. I love that. So parents have additional responsibility for you to talk about and educate your children about cybersecurity. I really like that approach. I think it's very seldom to talk about the role of parents in educating their children in this space. All right, so let's talk about digital infrastructure. How critical is establishing digital infrastructure, even like foundational infrastructure, in securing our data? What do you think are our key challenges here and how to overcome that? Anyone would like to answer this?
I think data centers, I think setting up infrastructure, whether it's in country or sitting offshore, it's not relevant as such. I understand we need to drive compliance, and I understand there are regulations that require for data to sit in the country. I think what's probably more important is that the infrastructure that you're using in either scenario, public, private, or hybrid, delivers the risk mitigation strategies around it. So we're talking from speeding delivery, penalties, management of data, security elements that protect your data. Because it's inevitable that as the Philippines continues to evolve and become better and learn in the context of what you gentlemen just presented, use of any of these technologies is going to continue to grow. I think it's how we drive policy change to protect that. That does two things. Number one, entices foreign organizations to continue to work with organizations in the Philippines, manage data, whatever capacity. But number two, it also provides agility. Right? So I say infrastructure is not so relevant. What's probably more important is how it's governed, which gives the business outcome that people are driving towards. And of course, in the context of cybersecurity, many partnerships and many alliances that to be good, which is a combination of all the experts that can deliver in either platform.
John, from your perspective, you are doing the work at Beacon. What are the biggest challenges that you have faced working with, Philippine government and Philippine sector?
Maybe just to jump back to a couple of questions as well. I mean, certainly when it comes to digital infrastructure and cybersecurity, I think a key element to point out is the principle of designing with security from the beginning. It should no longer be viewed as an add-on after a service is rolled out or infrastructure security, whatever form, information security, network security, whatever, built in the process and is architected from the beginning. And then maybe just to jump back about the social media question, because it's relevant for this context. I mean, I think one of the things that, maybe we tend to fall into a little bit is when we talk in a policy environment or a technical environment, we use terms, right? Security by design even, or whatever. But when we're trying to address the issue of cyber hygiene in the general population, this is where actually having bite-sized, humanized messaging is really important. And that's certainly where social media comes into place so that people understand. It's instead of saying multi-factor authentication, we actually say, we need to make sure that there's a robust security blah, blah. But that's really the role of social media.
How about you, Hans? Do you have any insights in terms of the key barriers in terms of really creating these defenses among government institutions to protect?
Right. Key challenge right now, I believe, is we still have to educate more and more of our management, our managers, right? Key executive decision makers, not only the private sector but also the government sector. I think for them to appreciate, number one, the value of digital, and number two, what the risks are to that value.
I agree. I really believe in order for us to bring innovation in whatever aspect, be it cybersecurity, digitalization, or e-governance, we really have to educate from top level to the grassroots. So very good points. Sam, what do you think we can do so we can effectively collaborate as sectors to push forward our mandate for cybersecurity?
Thank you for that question. Countries define their infrastructure. Once you define it, you identify it. It's very basic. Healthcare, finance, for example, power, utilities, any industry that can bring you from the announcement. Okay? But when you announce it, the question is, what's next? If an industry is critical, I believe there has to be a law, regulation. It's government that drives it. Okay? But the government can take three roles. It can be a dictator, say, hey, follow me lead, or it can be lax. It will push follow through with the IRR or minimum rules, or it can be collaborative. I believe for cybersecurity, once we've identified the critical sectors, which we did already, it has to be collaboration in government, private sector, vendors, innovators, and communities of practice like ours. That's how it should be. It has to be limited. It cannot be a dictator or lax regulator.
Do you think there's a need for like a sandbox approach to start this, to establish frameworks and guidelines for it?
This recent hacks announced us in government won't be that list. There'll be more. But if you notice, the individual data composite of Philippines is almost open. From the Comelec hack of 2016. Right? That's the basic information. And now you have the healthcare hacks. And then you have barangay hacks actually. You just need financial data and we can go back up. Here to in this develop a quantum solution, and then just brute force the passwords of those Filipinos. So it's scary, but the solution there is that you should go hand in hand to fight against these internal, external threats to our cyber identities. So it has to be. That's why the team is very good. Sama-sama sa cybersecurity. If we don't back as one, then we're going to lose. Back again.
Love that statement. So, I know everyone are very busy and we want to close this panel by you guys sharing us what would be the key elements for us to move forward as a nation, as Philippines transform digital through its government services and records. And what do you think everyone should be thinking about in terms of really enforcing this in a safe and secure manner? How do we digitalize the Philippines in a very secure and safe manner?
I believe in the same way that many industries have their representative bodies at both public and private levels. We need one for cybersecurity with both members that are from the private sector and from the public sector working together. The output of that kind of industry body, or let's say governing body, will help to deliver the programs of education in tertiary or K-12, doesn't matter. But the enabling design is very important for the fact that it needs to be led first and foremost by not just the government, but with people who are from cybersecurity backgrounds and have the expertise to operate and bring, best practices for overseas here in the Philippines. Again, the Philippines is very different, but at the same time, the footprint of cybersecurity is necessary. And I think that's the starting block of the foundation to get done.
I guess I would just say in closing that operationalizing the national cybersecurity plan is definitely a very important next step. But then also more broadly across all of society, recognizing that when you think about the pillars of cybersecurity and the importance of process and technology, it's really people, where you see both the weakest link, right, because of today or ignorance and social engineering, but also the strongest link. Right? I mean, if we really focus on educating across all of society, public sector, private sector, individuals, at different levels, that's really where we can build that foundation.
So, as most of that was said, right? John, Sam, there. So, we need to continue the conversation, I guess, at all levels, from the home to the board, to the board, to government, and then we need to build in security, not bolt it on, right? It should be built in, so it should be part of our DNA, right? So we should be thinking secure, because right now there's still this thinking that the way that we create value these days is through digital, right? So we need to guard that like we do, our physical assets as well.
Okay, I'm not a big fan of commitments in Yeah, I did. But, I'm a big fan of acting on it. And when you act on it, there's a goal. Otherwise, what will happen? 10 timeline. I think that's smartphones. We estimated that we need around 150,000 cybersecurity professionals to safeguard the critical infrastructure of the Philippines. You only take 1,000. Let's say the company costs 200. And simply just take 1,200. Right? So there's a long way to go. So the challenge is that, why don't we put a number, 10% of 180,000 is 80,000. Why don't we, in the next 3 years, join hands with the DICT and set that goal? We'll be accountable for it. That's how we should act after signing this commitment to safeguard cybersecurity.
It's more when you heard that.
80,000 cybersecurity professionals in 3 years.
During the festival.
I love it.
Trained, certified. We rally all of our members, our volunteers.
If you're in that
Mentors and stuff. Each of us have our own training and certification program. We give it for free. But let's put a number: 80,000 in 2 years.
No, let's make use of data itself, right? And use the people, not just technologies, but empower the people to really secure the entire Philippines. Well, thank you so much. Any more additional insights you want to share with the audience before we close this out? All good? All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you, guys, and thank you for staying.